The following show and its content are the responsibility of the show's producers and participants.
Information related in this program is not meant to substitute medical recommendations. Before starting a treatment program, you should consult your physician.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
That's right. Welcome to the Couch Live, everybody. Hello. It's a beautiful day. It's another beautiful Friday. The weather is all great. This is the kind of weather that Trinity usually doesn't like because it's a little bit too warm for him. But he's not here today, so instead I have someone else here with me. But let me introduce myself a little bit better. I am the street certified dope, Dr. Louis Delgado, here with you at WPSN99.com, the Problem Solving Network. And this is the Couch Live, a show that focuses on addiction and recovery and all things in between. And with me today is not the Dharma Guy, because Dharma Guy has to go do husband guy.
I kind of look like him, though. We kind of look similar.
You're just a little bit
I have a tattoo.
Smaller. You got one tattoo. You're getting there. You're getting there. But the voice you hear is Chris Lowe. So, Chris Lowe, introduce yourself. Hello.
Hi. Thanks, Louie. I'm Chris Lowe, and I actually speak on suicide awareness and prevention and help teach kids how to cope with anxiety, depression, and all the things that are plaguing our youth nowadays.
That's right.
And that's what I do.
And you do that in all the schools and everything.
Yes.
Right.
And if anyone needs some inspiring message in their school, they can let me know, because I'm going everywhere this year.
Well, that's what I'm hearing.
That I need to go.
I'm hearing. I got a phone call. Well, I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails and saying that you're about to not only tell your story, but you're telling everybody's story.
Yeah. I'm sharing stories so we can hear more stories and save some lives.
And you brought somebody in here with you. Now, I know it's radio, so they don't actually see her, but they might. Well, they don't really see her on the Facebook Live one, but they may see her on the YouTube one.
Yeah.
On this camera over here.
Oh, there's a camera there.
She can't escape that camera, so why don't you might as well introduce her then? Since
I brought my daughter Delaney with me today. And we call her Lainey. Lainey's 19, and she just finished her yoga teacher training certification. And so she has been getting ready to do all her yoga. So she's doing yoga training. She's been to the resorts. And so that's her new career. At 19, she spent 300 hours learning how to be a yoga instructor.
I thought you were going to say $200-$300.
Well, no, it's a lot more than that.
You're a yogi, then.
She's
is that
a
what
yogi.
It is? Is that what it is?
Yep. And she has.
Do I not have you turned up?
She has.
There you go.
Lainey has 10 tattoos, so she's catching up with Trinity.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
10 tattoos and a yogi.
Yep. Yeah.
Jeez.
She's very zen, though. They were doing the tattoos. She's like, and I was there screaming the whole entire time.
Yeah, I forget that. I'd be screaming before the tattoo, during the tattoo, after the tattoo.
I was. The guy's like, you're overreacting. I'm like, oh, yeah. Maybe I am.
Well, me more for like, it's permanent.
Yes.
It's permanent, and then,
hers all have special.
All mean they always,
yeah,
that's how
hers are special.
That's how you get the parent.
Yes.
You get the parent by, I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it to honor you, or honor this, or honor that. And it's like, how do you say no to that? You know what I mean? I tried that with my mom, and it didn't work. I said, this is to honor you. She goes, oh, no. So
yeah, I was totally against tattoos until we had a good reason to get tattoos.
Yeah,
and I even convinced myself to get. So it's not only kids convincing their parents, but it's like I convinced myself I needed a tattoo for the first time ever.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, that means something though. I like it. I like it. When it has some special meaning like that, I like it. When it's just your journal, I say get a book first and write it all down. When it's your journal, write in the journal first, and then maybe just because later on you may not want to show those chapters as much as you want to show those chapters now.
Well, do you meet people and they have a tattoo and you're like, oh, what's that mean? They're like, I have no idea.
Right.
I don't know. I was drunk, and it was like this giant bird, and I don't even know what kind of bird, and I just did it.
I think a lot of females actually know their tattoos, but a lot of my earlier guy friends, they'd be like, well, this was drunk in Vegas, this was drunk in Phoenix, this was drunk in L.A., That's a little bit different. But, nowadays, they seem to have a lot of meaning, and especially in the recovery world, there's a lot of meaning attached to it. Again, it's like a journal. It's like wearing your journal on the outside and kind of giving a story of your life, like a mural of your life.
Yeah.
So, like, when you die, we just read you. That's kind of how it should be. It should be like you just keep on documenting yourself, and then when you die, we'll just flip you back and forth. Just tell us where to start. Like maybe number it, like 1, 2, 3, because I think, because if they're numbered, it's a lot easier to know what the story is.
Yeah, otherwise it's just random. Right? And then you're like, wait, this totally doesn't make sense.
Well, what if I do it out of order? What if instead of being evil and then found, you were found and now you're evil?
Right. It doesn't make sense.
Right. It doesn't. Well, anyway, let's get into the Chris is trying to take me off topic. First she makes me late, and then now she takes me off topic.
I was on time. You were late.
It's not the story these people are going to hear.
And I came from Orlando, so.
Well, see, the fact that this is going to be forever heard and seen, she made me late, and that's just the way it is.
Always blame it on the woman.
Yeah, blame it on the woman.
Isn't that something you learn in recovery, not to blame others?
You know what else you learn in radio is turn off the phone, the alerts. But anyway, so Chris, all right, so it's a brand new year. It's a brand new year, and there's a lot of exciting things happening. It's 2019. We've talked about new beginnings, and we've talked about how you kind of have to go into it with a plan, a little bit of energy, but really every day is a beginning, a new beginning. So you really didn't need a new year, but for some reason it inspires a lot of people.
Right.
The fact that it is a new year inspires a lot of people to, I guess, make some changes that they weren't gonna make right now.
Right. Yeah.
Like a Monday. Like people always wait till Monday. People always wait till morning. People wait till a new year.
Yes.
People wait till the first of the month. Whatever it is.
New Year's is like Monday once a year.
Yeah. People need that one day. So, but the kicker behind that is then, all right, now how do you keep it moving?
Yes.
How do you keep it going?
It's like the gym is packed for the first 3 weeks of January, and then it slows down pretty significantly. Yeah.
Right. Like right now, real gym people are hating it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
they're going at off times.
Right. Yeah, they're like, why don't you guys? I could tell you don't usually come. They're having.
So, do you have a resolution though? Did you is there anything new that you're doing this year?
No.
Did you? It's a new year, new you.
No.
Going to the gym more? Anything?
Yeah. Yeah. Good one there, Chris. Going to the gym. I've given up on that resolution like 20 years ago.
Oh, come on.
No. But I'm visiting the refrigerator less often. No, it's not the fridge. To me, it's the snack area. It's the chips aisle. So the chips aisle, less often.
Yes.
I've already made that resolution. Actually,
that is a good resolution.
But I don't do it for New Year's. I just do it all the time now. It's here's the rule. When it's 2 for $1, then I'm allowed.
You have to.
Yeah, I only buy my Lay's potato chips when it's 2 for $1.
You almost have to.
I like having rules like that. It really works though. But I it just makes you go to Winn-Dixie all the time. So, are you 2 for $1 yet?
Are you 2 for $1? Okay, I'm not getting anything.
But how do you keep it going though, Chris? I mean, how do you take a resolution or something that you want to do, and how do you keep it fresh like that first day? Any kind of hints for people?
Well, let me tell you what I do. Well, first of all, New Year's Eve, I wrote down what no longer served me and my higher purpose. And I wrote down all the things from last year that didn't serve me anymore. Wrote them on a piece of paper.
Okay.
And I was at the beach. So I was right next to a resort. So I walked up to the resort. They had a big fire pit. And I took my list and I put it in the fire pit. And I watched all that no longer served me just float up in the air. So everything from last year or the past that I didn't want to hold on to anymore, I literally sat there and watched it just go up into thin air.
Float away.
There they went. So it almost it's like a ritual, right? So you feel like everything kind of releasing.
Nice.
And then I set the intention for 2000. Instead of like a resolution, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I just set an intention rather than a resolution. And then I give myself a word. So wait,
time out. Wait. You're moving too fast. by me stopping you, is that gonna ruin your flow?
Let me slow down.
No. I want to go back on that thing because I really like what you said, but I don't know if I'm gonna take.
No, go ahead.
Are you ADD like me? Then you're gonna forget it. Oh, dang it.
But I'm good. I'm focused.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, you keep us on task.
Yeah,
keep us on. All right, so intention rather than, you said intention? Rather than resolution?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, so I feel like a resolution is more like, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to go. So an intention is more like an overall, my intention for this year is to do more things that serve my highest good, that serve other people.
Okay.
So instead of saying, making it specific, like, a lot of people are like, this year I'm going to go to the gym every single day. Right. So that's hard to keep doing. But if you set the intention, I'm going to do what's healthiest for my body this year. Right. So then that may be going to the gym one day, going to the bike trail one day, going on a walk on the beach one day. But it doesn't just tie you into a certain thing. Does that make sense? So
yeah.
So I kind of make it more like my intention for the year, what I want to do. It's more of a mindful practice rather than a task-oriented practice.
Well, but all right. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
If I intended to get clean and sober, like, how does that change my resolve or my decision to get clean and sober? Like, how do I put that into practice? Like, or I don't intend to hurt you anymore. I don't intend to lie to you. I don't intend to cheat. I don't intend to manipulate. I don't intend to steal. Like, how do I change that intention, or what is that intention?
Well, so what's the first thing you said? You said if I'm going to get clean and sober.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you
because I intended to many times,
right?
But then I decided not today.
Right. So if let's say you're writing, okay, my New Year's resolution is to get clean and sober.
Right.
And you write that down.
Right.
So instead, maybe if your intention is to do what's best for your body, your mind, and your soul.
Okay.
So then what's best for you and everyone around you is to get clean and sober. It's just a different take on it.
Right.
Right? So it's just a, and then you still have to take the steps, obviously, but intention is more mindful. So you're like, the intention I'm setting this year is to get clean and sober, to be better to the people around me, to serve the people around me, and live my life in my highest good. So with that, it's like, okay, if you're going to do all that, you're going to want to get clean and sober because you want to do what's best for yourself and everyone around you. So it's just a different, way to look at.
It's not as restricting.
Yeah, it's not as restricting.
Well,
Thank
if you're not
Lainey.
talking directly into that microphone, Lainey, all the people don't get to hear that beautiful intention that you had.
She's a wise yogi.
It's not as restricting to make an intention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you set a resolution and then one day you don't go to the gym or whatever, then you're gonna be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be hard on yourself because when you set an intention, you're like, I don't know, it's less restricting.
And it's like the journey you're on,
Right.
rather than you said the perfect thing. It's like if I didn't go to the gym today, so forget it.
Right.
It's like, oh, I had a drink today, forget it.
Right.
This year's over. I'll start in
It's
2020.
Today my body doesn't need the gym, so it's okay that I didn't go because I'm doing what's best for my body.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I like is you're turning intention from being I guess kind of a negative thing, and you're turning it into a positive thing. Because I've always looked at intentions as excuses. I intended to go, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I intended to do the right thing, but I didn't.
Well, you're kind of using I intended to do something as in a different way of like I have my intentions.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like taking the word change and turning it from nickels and dimes to actually doing something in your life. But I like that because we have to kind of change the way some of those words are, because if not, we get caught up too much into words and then we don't do anything.
Right.
We're just arguing.
Right.
But
I see the thing is with resolutions is someone says I'm going to do this, and then like she was saying, you don't do it, and then you beat yourself up. Oh, I didn't do it today, and then but instead, like, I'm going to do what's best for my body. And if you one day don't, and then you're like, okay, but my intention is to do better this year, so tomorrow I will.
Right.
I don't know. It's like she said, it's less restrictive and just,
cool.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, I probably threw you off because I stopped you with that because that word just hit me. And I wanted it to, I like that. I like that the word is different in the context that you used it in.
Yeah.
So what were you saying with that?
Intentional.
See if you can remember that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Rewind.
Where am I?
I don't know. That one
Squirrel.
Yeah. I see a lot of there's a lot of squirrels in this studio.
Right. There's another one.
Yeah.
So I was saying about how I burned what no longer served me, the intentions. What was the other thing I was saying, Lainey? You're a moderator. You're supposed to know this.
She was supposed to, that was her job, her one job.
You have one job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
How you're releasing what no longer served you.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
The three of us together could
good luck with that.
Thought.
You know, the sad thing is somebody watching or listening is probably like, I know exactly where you were, and now I wanted to hear it, and Louie knocked her off.
See, if someone knows what we were saying and they comment.
Right? And then when you watch it on YouTube, you're going to go, see, I never finished that thought.
I know.
And I do that all the time. See, that's why I asked, are you ADD? Because I liked where you were going, but I had to.
Yes.
And I messed up. I'm sorry. She's never going to tell you guys
what
hopefully it comes around.
I was saying how I set my intentions and then how I keep those, which is what we just touched on is I just set the intention to live my life in the highest good and to serve others.
Okay.
So in doing that, then I want to take better care of myself.
Right.
So,
see, I think a lot of people don't know how to do that. I don't think a lot of people know how to take care of themselves. I mean, look, it's really easy to look. Yeah, it's really easy to look at somebody else and call them out on what they're not doing for themselves.
Yeah.
Like in a safety thing, it's real easy to see someone that's not being safe and going, God, that's a real dumb thing for you to do.
Yeah.
Whether they're driving unsafe, they're behaving unsafe, they have whatever. And then, but when it's you, it's like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Even if someone calls you out on it, you're like, I know what I'm doing. Just, I've done it a million times. And I think that's one of the problems in this whole New Year's thing is we've done it so many times. Obviously, you've had lots of New Year's. And obviously, you've had lots of intentions.
I've had 20.
Yeah. Times. I've had 20 in one day. But regardless of how many times you've had your intentions to get better, I like what you said, Lainey, about beating yourself up, because I think there's people right now. We're already at January? What day is it? 4th?
No idea. 5th,
January 4th, and then who knows by when you're watching it. But already by January 4th, there's people that have already, they've messed that resolution up, and so they're just like, screw it, and they're waiting for another Monday, another new month, or another new year. And that's not the way to do this. Really, the way to keep things going is to understand that there may be bumps in the roads, and that's not giving you an excuse to go ahead and bump it on purpose. But just you can restart a year any day, any moment.
Right.
I learned early on that you can restart anything. It's just this second. This second is the first day of your life. This second is the first day of the week. This second is the first day of the year. It doesn't matter. What matters is, what is it you're doing right this very second that can change the whole entire trajectory of where you're going? But the key is to how to keep it going. Right. Because anybody can get clean and sober, but to stay that way is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
And likewise with depression or with anxiety or anything.
Right.
Anything you're dealing with, it's easy to treat it one day. But it's hard to keep it going. It's hard to keep it fresh.
Right.
So I think that's where we need to go with today's show.
Well, I think a lot of times like you said, it's easy to get clean and sober. It's like easy for someone to work out the first 4 days of the year. It's, you can do that, but then to keep that going, because everyone beats themselves up once they get to that point where they drop off. But, it's kind of, tell me what you think of this, because I've been talking to a lot of people this week that are in this industry. And one thing someone said to me this week was the opposite of addiction is connection. Yes.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
And so
it's not really the opposite, but I get the point.
The kind of
right. I get the point.
Because addiction, you're over here with this, whatever this is, the addiction, and then but when you're connected to people, a lot of people have said being connected to other people is what makes the difference.
I definitely believe that. That's why I like what you said.
And so it's like maybe in the beginning of all of this, if somebody, when they're in the clean place, like that's why AA and all that is such a good thing, because you connect with other people that are in the same place as you, rather than, I just stopped drinking, I'm sitting home alone. Right. Or, I have anxiety, I don't have it right now, but I'm just going to sit home by myself, and you kind of wait for it to come back. So to actually get out and be around other people, that's why everyone's at the gym together, right? So they're all in there trying to get healthy together. And if you kind of can form some bonds like that in the beginning, and it would make it easier to keep it going, right? Because it's one thing to say, well, I'm going to stop drinking January 1st, and then sit there by yourself and
Right.
You know, that's, like I said, that's why all the programs are so successful, because you are surrounded by others and you realize you're not alone.
Right.
And really, loneliness is one of the culprits in all of this, I feel like. Because people feel like they're alone and that no one cares and that they don't matter, and it takes you down a slippery slope. But then when you connect with people, you realize how much you do matter and how important you are, and your own mind can make you think otherwise.
Right.
So I think staying busy and staying connected, and even, you know, going out to the beach and doing a beach cleanup, or just doing activities that to serve the others or serve the earth, or however you want to look at that.
Oh,
I know. We love the earth.
That's so millennial of you.
I know.
And he's really inside you, isn't he? He's really in there.
Yeah. No, can I tell you a story real quick on that subject?
Then I'm going to have to write down what I was going to say. Can you tell me a story? Can you remember the story?
Yes.
All right, good.
Because it happened on the way here. But anyway,
this is going to be very difficult. I'm going to have a notepad doing shows with you.
I think I had too much coffee on the way here.
I haven't had enough. My monster's empty.
Oh,
but no, I want to touch on that connection part first.
Okay.
Okay, so remember your story.
We'll circle back to the story. I know the story had happened on the way here.
All right,
yeah.
Good. All right, so you remember that. That's your job. All right. So on the connection part, though, the reason connection is so important in this, the treatment of this disease, is because in this disease, what happens is that it completely disconnects you from who you are. It disconnects you from parts of your brain that makes you feel whole and makes you feel complete, and takes away some of your choices. And so your brain knows this. Your brain already knows its normal way of dealing with life's choices are frontal lobe to mid. So front to mid, front to mid, front to mid. So, and what I'm saying is the frontal lobe to the middle part. And the frontal lobe is where your decisions, your learning, your thinking, your reasoning, and all that stuff is. And then in the middle is where it's like the lizard brain, which is very instinctual. So, like if you throw a ball at me, I catch it because I've learned it, and it's part of that midbrain. It's just like a survival instinct. I know, either I run or I fight. So, what happens in addiction is it completely hijacks that middle part, and therefore it starts controlling the decisions from the middle to the front. And so now the decisions go from the middle part of the brain so they're more survival in nature than instead of thinking it through and reasoning it out. So when people look at an addict or try to make sense to someone who's dealing with that midbrain problem, they're trying to reason with them, but the reasoning is secondary. So if I'm still feeling attacked by you, if I'm still feeling like I'm dying, if I still feel like my basic needs aren't being met, everything you're saying sounds good, but first I got to do this. So yeah, recovery sounds good, but I gotta go pay the dealer first. Yeah, I'll go to rehab, but I just gotta go out one more night, because that midbrain is what's in control, and it's like, this is what you need right now, and then everything else that makes sense and sounds good is later. So the reason the connectivity works is because everything is mimicked on our outside. If you notice, everything in your life on the outside kind of mimics what's going on inside. So people that are very structured and organized on the outside, a lot of times their brain is very structured and organized. It's like that's the way they have to do things. Very analytical, very, very, this has to go before this, or else I can't do the second thing. If the first thing's not done, I can't go to the second. And then if you notice, mine's more a shotgun approach, because I'm scatterbrained a lot of times, and I'm flying all over the place. But when I'm focused on one thing, I'm focused on one thing. So if you look around my environment, you'll see whatever I'm working on is completely making sense. It's all organized, but everything else is like kind of just piled up and waiting. All that being said, since your brain understands that you have disconnected, it requires that connectivity on the outside first to kind of heal the inner part then. So you start fake it till you make it. You'll hear fake it till you make it. It's what worked for me. You fake it till you make it. You connect with others when you don't really care about them. I hated all of you people in recovery initially. I hated you. I hated your stories. I hated to hear what I didn't give a damn about your life. So I'm sitting there in a meeting supposed to care about what you have to say, and some of you talked for way too long. Or if I went to multiple meetings and it's the same person, you said it. I've heard you say it 5 times, and nothing's changed. And then I look over and the guy next to me is hearing it for the first time, so he thinks you just said something like Noah, or Moses just spoke, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And it's like, dude, he just said that yesterday. I was judgy because of that connectivity. I wasn't connecting it, but I was faking it, so I was there.
Yeah.
But in time, as you connect physically with people, or like you said, you go out there and just do, it doesn't even have to be recovery stuff. Like you said, you could go do a cleanup. Fool yourself. Fake yourself.
Yeah.
Go do a beach cleanup. Do something, for a charity that makes sense to you, that it's not threatening to you. It doesn't even have to be addiction or recovery related. But when you're connecting with other people in a false manner, eventually it does seep in. it does become more instinctual to this is where I should be, this is what I should do. And then hopefully the miracle happens. And that's kind of what we do in recovery is you just do a lot of fake it till you make it kind of behaviors until the miracle happens. And it will. If you do it long enough, it just will. Now, did that throw you off from your story, or you're still able to?
No, but that was, the same. So I spent 25 years in the fitness industry. And it's the same thing. People skip the gym or eat, a bag of cookies or 2 bags of Lay's because they were on special.
Oh, I love
and
it.
they beat themselves up and like, well, forget it. I'm not going to work out anymore. I just screwed it up.
Right.
But it's just a day. It's just a moment. It's just a time. And you can just get right back to it the next day. Right? So if you have one bad day of eating bad and not exercising and feel, if you just go out and do it the next day, it's all right to have a bad day.
Yeah.
It's okay. And you can recover from that and keep going. Right?
Yeah, you just got to put a period on it and end the chapter.
Yes.
But the key is to start the next chapter, even if that last chapter was just one day of badness,
right?
Whatever you want to call it.
I know you've had plenty of those.
I had lots of those, but that's why they're short little chapters.
Yeah.
There's some chapters that are just like 2 sentences long. That's it.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's no rules on how long that chapter has to go. So if you started with January 1st with some sort of intention, and here you are at January 4th, and you're kind of already straight a little bit, that's all right. So that chapter is 3 days long or 4 days long. So what? Boom.
Right.
The key is to put a period on it, start a new sentence, start a new paragraph, start a new chapter. Do it now.
Right.
So what happened on the way here? What were you
so we have a motto. It's love yourself, love the earth, love each other.
Oh God, you
millennials.
You're so hippie-ish. Were you always a hippie, or did you just turn into one?
I think I've been more hippie-ish the last what?
And I don't mean it
10
in a bad,
I'm looking at my daughter so she can ask.
Yeah.
So she can answer. What do you think? 5 years. I've been more hippie-ish than normal. She's been. I've evolved.
Oh, a hippie is an evolved person.
Note to self.
Yeah, wait. All right. So for those of you that take hippie as a bad word, it's actually an evolved person.
Look
I
at
didn't
what
mean
you're
it as
learning today, Louis.
I'm learning.
Okay, so
you're evolving to be more open.
More open and more awakened, more enlightened.
The real reason
to what's really going on.
The real thing we love about hippies, anyway.
Right.
The thing I love about hippies is the fact that they're easy to get along with.
Right. They're just like cool.
Yeah, they just kind of laid back.
Yeah, and I haven't always been laid back.
Right.
Have I? No.
Yeah. So you got more relaxed.
Yeah, more relaxed.
All right. So what happened?
Anyway, so my son that passed away, he was a big environmentalist. I mean, he's beach cleanups and saving the earth and doing all this stuff for the planet. He loved the planet.
Right.
And so we started a nonprofit after he passed away. And so we've done all this beach cleanup and all this stuff. So anyways, we're driving here, and the car in front of us just throws their trash out the window.
No, they didn't.
Out the window. And she's like, what? And we start freaking out. So then we're already freaked out. We're behind him, right? So then we see the lady and her arms hanging out the window, and she's smoking. And then she throws her cigarette out the window. Same lady? Yeah, same lady.
So now she wants to burn it all up too.
Yeah, not only is she gonna trash the earth, she's gonna burn it. Jeez. Right? So now we're ticked. In a hippie kind of way.
Yeah.
We are so mad right now.
The fingers go like this,
we're
not
so
the other way.
Mad right now. Yeah, we didn't do the other way.
Namaste, but you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Namaste in my car.
Yeah.
So we had some paper in the car. So Lainey wrote a sign on the paper, and it said, what did it say? The earth
is not your trash can.
Is not your trash can. And so then the people are hauling butt because they probably saw us in the car behind them going, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And what are you doing?
911, I'm being chased by hippies.
In a Ford Explorer.
Greenpeace after me.
That was Hudson's nickname, Greenpeace.
Okay, see?
So anyways, we finally they slow down. They're going, like hauling butt. We pull up next to them, and Lainey holds the sign in the window. The earth is not your trash can. And they drive, and the girl just kind of looks like, and just turns her head and faces forward. We're like, she didn't even react. So then they get up, we pull up next to them with the light. We hold it up in the other window because now we're on the other side.
Yeah.
And so same thing. We never really got a reaction out, but she kind of looked over like, wonder who that sign's for. Like it wasn't even for her. Right? Like she was like, just looked like,
right. But you did your
I wonder
part.
who that's for. Yeah. So I'm like, and then they like slowed down and got away from us.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's stalking.
At
that point, it becomes problematic.
So we think we got in their head.
Right.
And maybe they'll stop throwing everything out the windows of their car.
Right.
Why do you think you can just trash the earth? and throw your cigarettes and your trash out the window. And then there's all these guys on the side of the road cleaning up trash.
At the same road?
Yes. On 44 coming into New Smyrna Beach. And she's like, see? Taxpayer money at waste. Look at all those guys having to clean up your trash.
So in her eyes, maybe she's just giving
she's
employment.
like, oh, they're good.
She's giving them jobs. She's actually
she's like, oh, they need a job. I'll throw all this out of my car.
She's actually helping our president out, putting people to work. See, and here you are trashing her and shaming her, because shaming is a good thing.
We weren't shaming.
Driving fast.
We were
stalking,
making her aware.
Threatening and shaming, and all she's doing is trying to put good people to work, or give people that have committed.
Or maybe
crime.
she was just littering, and she didn't even know those people.
That's
were
your
picking
perspective.
Up trash.
See, Dharma Guy would say that's your perspective,
right? But the guys cleaning up were about 10 miles up the road, so they weren't even back where she threw her trash.
There could have been a bee in the trash, and she had to get rid of the bee, and that's what happened. You don't know.
So you're saying it's okay to litter?
No,
Louis
there
Delgado?
could have been a bomb in the trash. Somebody threw a grenade in her car.
Yeah, we drove over
and
it.
She threw the grenade out of the window. Is what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
She would have blown up our car.
Well, you were going too fast to get blown up. The car behind you blew up. No, it's not okay to litter. I hate it.
No,
I hate
so
litter. I stop people.
We were just trying to spread a message.
It's dangerous, people, to stop people or to do what they did. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, we were driving 65 on the highway.
Here's the key. Here's the key, just to make my wife happy. This is the part that's not going to make her happy, is me telling you, please, it's dangerous. The part that's not going to make it happy is always make sure you can kick that person's ass before you start saying something.
Giving them signs.
Yeah.
Well,
just make sure that you have the ability to beat them or you're also carrying.
Right. Well, I have a book that I'm coming out with, and it's 10 Steps to Finding True Joy. So it's Finding Fiji. Fiji stands for fun, inspiration, joy, and insight.
I like that.
And one of the steps, or one of the chapters, is called It's a Sign.
Okay.
So to look for signs in life. So maybe that our sign was a sign for that woman that she should stop littering. Maybe she's like, look, it's a sign. Right? And it literally was a sign, but...
No, what you should have done is crumpled that sign up and threw it back out.
Who's littering now?
Yeah. I don't know.
So it's a sign. So we watch for signs. And we hope that was a sign for her to stop littering.
I agree with that. I still get really upset when I still see people do something like that.
Yeah.
And all right, so that's exactly an example of what I was saying earlier, that our outside world is like our inside. Anyone that has the ability to just take something out of their vehicle and just throw it out and leave that for someone else to do, that's how they really view other people. That's how you're viewing other people. Like they're irrelevant. Other people's needs or other people's ideas or beauty or whatever is irrelevant.
Right.
My needs are more important than anybody's, and right now that needs to be out of my car.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw it out there. What's weird is like you're throwing it out of your car because it would be trash and it would be a mess in your car.
In your car.
So you're like, can't have a mess in my car. Let's just have it on our earth instead.
Yeah.
Because at that point it becomes someone else's problem.
Exactly.
And so when you push your problems on other people and say, well, now that's your problem. I want to get rid of this and I'm going to give it to you. Yeah. That just is indicative of who that person is.
Well, it's like it's not my problem.
Yeah, because it's not her problem
So you
anymore.
throw it out, and now all these other people are cleaning up the mess.
Maybe she was doing what you did on New Year's Eve. You said you burnt something and you sent it up in the sky, right? For all those little ashes.
Don't you dare turn this around on me. You're such a man.
All those little ashes fell down somewhere. Somebody's like,
they're like,
what's going on?
It's weird. I have all these weird intentions for this year.
There could be somebody from Hawaii having some sort of like flashback.
They'd be like,
a volcano.
They'd be like, I thought I got rid of one last year. It's back here.
There's no volcanoes in Florida. No.
Yeah, so that's a good analogy you made, though. I like that.
Yeah,
about just throwing your trash out for someone else to take care of. That's like kind of we have a ability to do that or not do that.
Right. Well, often that's exactly what we do. Is we just like to give our problems to other people.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I think we're boring.
She's looking for permission to go to the restroom.
Bye. Have a nice day.
We'll just call you out on the air. You're going to the restroom. That's fine. It's a human thing.
Just remember, your microphone works in there.
Yeah, that's right. Take the microphone off. But yeah, it's leaving our issues for someone else to handle, and often we do that. And so here we are at the beginning of the year, and you have a complete grasp of what your intentions are for this year, and the real key, like I'm going to say my best sponsor I ever had in my life up to this point was someone that said, you just have to do the right thing in between the tick and the talk. And it's a corny little thing, but corny things work.
Yeah.
Those little corny things that you hear and initially you laugh at or you make fun of because they just sound so ridiculous because you're so damn cool in your insanity and your sickness, but everybody else is corny. That tick and the talk makes sense because all you're doing is like, okay, we're just for this second, right? Just for this second, what is the right thing to do right now? So whatever that initial intention was or whatever that intention is, what are you doing this very second to make it happen? And for some of you, it's listening to this program. Yeah. For some of you, it's listening longer than you probably would have. You probably would have already turned it off, wanted to come back to it later, not listen anymore, or say that, they're just fools, whatever,
or like that doesn't apply to me because I'm not doing that.
Right. But since everybody does know somebody that's suffering, it applies to everybody. It's just you don't know when you're going to need, this kind of feedback or stuff that we're talking about, right?
Yeah. And I think I met some people I've had like the most unbelievable week of meeting new people. Yeah, and it's like this is the best year ever.
And all I've done is
4 days.
I've hibernated.
No, but I met these amazing people this week, and they're called the Sunshine Mafia.
Yeah, have you met them? No, but I was just reading your bottle that says sunshine on it.
Sunshine on my shoulders. Synchronicity. Yeah. No, but they're this family, and there's 8 kids, all like the Partridge Family. Okay. And the Sunshine Mafia, and they live in Palm Coast. You've got to meet them.
They're really called the Sunshine Mafia?
Yeah, and it's parents and their 8 kids. Mm-hmm. They travel all over the country singing and spreading positive messages. And they are from like 6 years old to like 17, 18 years old.
Are they the Carter family or something?
No, I don't know.
Like June Carter and all that?
It's the Sunshine Mafia, and they are...
That's a weird name for
I know, I don't. They just came up with it. I don't know how it even came up, but they... and they were like, yeah, this is a weird name. And then they're like, I don't know, it just stuck, And they...
But I can see why it sticks. The Dope Doctor's a weird name.
Yeah, right. Their YouTube channel went viral, right? So they were at my neighbor's house this week, and my neighbor said, you got to come meet the Sunshine Mafia. I call my son my Sunshine. And so I go over and I meet these people, and they said, we really want you to share your story about your son with these kids. Right. So I sat there like I was speaking at a school and was talking to all these beautiful young kids.
Little mafiosos.
You get that. Yeah. And I was just like sharing Hudson's story and his speech and just, about the giving hope and kind of the message that I've been trying to spread. And so I'm basically trying to spread sunshine, and so are they. So, and then all the kids sang hallelujah for me. And they all harmonize in these sweet little voices, and the parents chime in. Wow. And it's like the most beautiful thing. And it was like the whole room just like fills up with love. I mean, they're literally just these little rays of sunshine. It's really unbelievable. And so they're singing, and they sang hallelujah, said, we want to sing you a song. And hallelujah is one of the songs they sang at Hudson's service. And all these beautiful little kids, and they're singing, and they're looking at me just singing this song. And we all just had this epiphany, like, we need to go to a school together. And the Sunshine Mafia, because music opens people up, especially when it's precious young people, singing these beautiful songs, and then they sing, and then I speak about my sunshine, and so we're talking about spreading sunshine together. Wow. And it was really just this magical moment. And you
should get a bus and go on tour with that.
That's exactly what I said. Like the Partridge Family, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, Lainey, we're going on tour. Woo! Spreading sunshine.
I love it.
But the world needs more of that.
It needs a lot more
sunshine.
Right?
The world needs more sunshine, more light, more love. And people, there's so many people in a dark place, and they don't see that. And so that family just made me realize that the more people that are out spreading sunshine, the more that someone that's in a dark place might just see a glimmer of light from someone that's trying to spread the sunshine. And it might just, trigger something in them that says, wow, there is light out there. I see the light, right? I see that there's hope for my future. And really you see these kids, and that's really the message that they give. And so I just was like amazed that I got to meet these people, and they live right here in Palm Coast, but they tour everywhere, and they sing, and their YouTube channel is hilarious because all these crazy things happen, and they have millions of hits on their YouTube, and it's like so positive, everything. So they sing, and then they say some positive stuff, or they tell a story. One of the videos I watched, one of the boys said, I was running in this race, and it's this young kid saying this. I was running a race, and I didn't think I could finish. And somebody else ran up beside me, and they said, come on, you can do it. And they ran and ran across the finish line with me. And he said, maybe today you could be that person for someone else. Yeah. Maybe you could be the one to run up beside someone who's struggling and say, come on, let's go, let's finish this together. Right. And the more people that out there that are trying to help other people start the race or get through the race together, the more people can be impacted. That's why it's so important that what you're doing and what people like the Sunshine Mafia do and what I'm trying to do in the schools is just to have more people spreading light.
Well, I think that's a great segue to what we are talking about then is how to keep it going then is just finding people like that to latch onto.
Yeah. Because how many times do you meet
little
people?
Sunshine singers.
Yeah.
Find your little sunshine singer.
Find your sunshine singer, or be the sunshine singer. Yeah. Be the light. You don't know when you can walk up to someone and be like, wow, I love that shirt. And someone like, oh, you do? Wow. I mean, it can be simple to be the sunshine, right? It doesn't have to be. Simple. You don't have to go on tour and sing around the world to be the sunshine. Right. You could just walk up to someone and do a kind gesture, or buy them a coffee, or do anything. I mean, there's people that have done stuff for our family, after we lost Hudson, that's just make you realize, wow, there are good people out there. And sometimes when you're in a dark place, or you're around a lot of other people that are in that same dark place, you don't really know that those people are out there, but they are. And there's so many people out there that want to help everyone else.
Well, my intention of wearing this shirt was to remind all the Georgia fans out there that Texas beat you.
Louis,
It was a bad intention. I had bad intentions.
Wow, I thought you were gonna have good intentions for 2019.
That was the first day. It was just January 1st and 2nd.
So what are you gonna do to get back on track?
I'm gonna start all over. I'm gonna start all over
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you're gonna wear just nondescript shirts.
To my friend Hern Dog, Steve Herndon, who is a great Georgia Bulldog football player from back in the day. Steve, sorry, Georgia Bulldogs lost. And then the sad thing is I have to go speak over there. I'm hoping I'm not going to take this shirt to go speak. I have to go to right there to Albany.
Oh.
I'm not wearing this shirt.
What if you did just for the fun of it, to see what would happen?
There's no fun of it in Georgia. It's Georgia. They used to lynch people there.
They're not going to like that shirt.
No, I'm not going to Georgia to make waves. I'm definitely not even going to say I'm from Texas when I go there.
You need to wear red.
They're going to be mad for one full year.
Wear red, buddy.
No,
Georgia.
Yeah, I do like red, though.
Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, linking with somebody. I mean, I like that. I got to meet these little sunshine singers.
Oh, I'm telling you, you could have them in here and fill the room with sunshine.
Yeah, that might be a little tough, but we'll do it.
8 kids. No, they're good at just kind of cramming, packing up
They
together.
know how to do it.
Yeah, they know what to do, man.
I've had boy bands and stuff, and they know how to cramp up and do their thing.
You know what? It'd be so fun to have them here because they really are spreading a beautiful message, and we should do that. And then
they're not religious, are they? The fact that you don't know is kind of cool because they may be. But that's not their intention, right?
They're not. Yeah, they are religious. I mean, they're like
sure
they speak about God and all that, but they're not. Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
But they're spreading sunshine.
But see, that's why you can't hate on religion. Look, I'm not a religious person, but you can't hate on it because dang
love
it, the
is
people
love.
They're so nice.
Right.
How do you?
They're spreading
hate
love
on people that are being nice.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're spreading love, no matter what you believe,
right?
You judge someone on what they believe.
Yeah.
No, they're spreading love and kindness and joy and just unity and connection. That's what they're spreading. And they're and they felt they're being led. I mean, they feel like they're being led and they're on a mission. When you meet them, you're just like you feel just the pure joy. It's amazing. We have to have them on here. Yeah. And then we will all sit and sing together.
No, we won't.
You're going to sing.
I can't sing.
Yeah, you can.
I can barely rap. So that's not happening.
I like big.
I can sing like Lou Reed.
I don't even know who that is.
Take a walk on the wild side.
Oh.
There it is. There it is.
I said, hey, baby.
I said,
take
hey,
a walk
babe.
on the wild side.
Take a walk on the wild side. That's it. That's my singing.
Do.
That's it. And the color girls say, do. You can't even say that line anymore, probably. It's a good line of the song.
Your Mac would never say that.
My Mac is my Mac is very millennial. It would never say that. It would say.
Are there people commenting over there?
I have no idea what they're saying.
Lainey
it's too far away.
Lainey, go see if anyone has a question.
It's too far away. So we got last few minutes.
Oh gosh, has it been that long already?
Yeah.
Gosh, time flies with you.
Oh, but we started 15 minutes late, so we're going to go a little 15 minutes longer.
Okay.
All right. So intentions. So we have an intentions to do something, right? Then we do it. Then to keep it going, we get around other people, connect with other people, and join them in their walk or have them join us in our walk, right? That's kind of where we're at.
Right.
And that's kind of the way to keep it going, right? Don't do it alone. Connect with other people. Keep moving forward. Any other parts to that whole process to keep it moving?
Well, circle back 1 second. But when you just said that, it just made me think, surround yourself with people, like-minded people that are going forward the way you are.
Yeah, we probably should identify the people.
Yeah, because if you say, I'm going to be clean and sober this year and set that intention, and then you're hanging out with your same buddies that are drinking a case of beer every day, it's going to be a lot harder to sit over there and not have a drink. Right. But if you're go to a meeting and they're all going to watch a game and no one's drinking, it's going to be a whole lot easier to not drink, if nobody is. So you surround yourself with the kind of people that are doing the same thing as you, right? So it's like in 2019, I set the intention, I want to have a healthy body, and I'm hanging out with my friends at the burger joint every day, and the people eating bags of chips, like, here, have a bag of chips. Like, no, I'm eating healthy. Oh, come on, a chip's not going to hurt you. So you want to go, okay, I'm going to go to the gym where everyone's working out, or I'm going to go to the beach where I can be in peace and walk and away from the people that are doing the things that I don't want to do anymore, right? Because if you don't want to do it anymore, I mean, whether you're old or young, it's like, even if you're in high school, right? If you don't want to do the drugs that your friends were doing or drink every day, you got to have different friends. Right. Right? I mean, that's a great point. See, getting clean and sober, and I know there's people out there that don't like to use the word clean anymore, but don't get caught up on the words. I'm just saying it because it's easier that way. But getting clean and sober is like someone getting out of debt. It looks so massive, and so you think, well, this little nickel that I'm about to spend is nothing. I'm already in debt. I'm in debt for $30,000. A nickel's nothing. No, that's actually something. The nickel is something, and it's like that in recovery, that you just, those little tiny nickels at a time are actually very important. You put enough of them together, and next thing you know, the debt is gone. Right. You're not going to know when it happens. I didn't know when I was going to feel better. I just knew that sober lifestyle looked boring. The people looked boring. I wasn't hanging out with them in the first place because they were all boring. I was in a crew of fun, but here's the problem. Was it really fun though?
Well, at the end it wasn't, and I think that's the key. That look, typically you don't get clean and sober when it's still fun. If you're even questioning getting clean and sober, it's because it's not fun anymore. And maybe you're doubting me and you're going, wait a minute, Louie, it's fun to me. It's just not fun to the people around me, my loved ones.
It's like my nagging wife.
Yeah, that's what makes it not fun. So you may think you're having fun, but is it fun arguing with your wife? Is it fun arguing with your husband? Is it fun lying and having problems with your parents? Is it fun sleeping on your friend's couch because you just got kicked out? Is it fun having to pay the attorney more than you're paying for your mortgage every several months? Is it fun being on probation? Is it fun sitting in that jail cell? No. So it's really not. You can't look at a day or a night and call that that's fun. I'm fun when I'm high, or it's fun when I'm high. No, because everything comes with the high, the up and the down. If I throw a ball up in the air, the whole game it's going to come down. So it's a full game. It's a full process, and the full process of getting high is you're going to go high, but you're going to come down. And the problem is eventually you're not going to go so high, but the down is going to keep on going lower. And so if you're at that point in your life where it's no longer fun completely in its totality, because in the beginning, even the trouble was fun. Even the getting busted was fun.
Like, I'm in jail.
Man, you can sit around and say, man, you see that cop, man? You tell the stories of look, man, I've told stories of like bad stuff. Like someone's sitting there, like there's always that one guy's girlfriend who's kind of sitting on the arm of the chair, won't even sit in the chair and just looking at you like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. But we're laughing about it because it's funny as hell. I ran into my friend's car on purpose, and Tortuga, if you ever watch this show, you know, I ran into your Cadillac on purpose, bro. And that was funny. Who runs into a Cadillac with a rabbit on purpose?
A rabbit.
This guy, because that was fun. You know, but later on, those stuff become a little bit more difficult. So when it stops being fun, and I mean totally, that the story's not fun, the feeling's not fun, the excuses aren't fun, the getting away with it isn't even fun. Yeah. It's so I was anxiety ridden in the end. I was constantly looking around, like always feeling like it's like something's going to happen. That impending doom was stronger than anything. That's when you do what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And that's when you can have the intention that, you know what, this time just may be different. This time will be different because I'm going to go into it with some other tools. And that's, I got to hold someone else's hand. I just got to do it. Instead of feeling like you got to do this all by yourself and just thinking, well, you know, I got to do it by myself. All those people are boring. I don't want to be around them. I don't know if it's going to be fun. Just look. The people that are in recovery, you're lucky you're getting clean and sober in 2019 because by now we've had so many thousands and millions of people get clean and sober. We still listen to music. We still go to concerts. We still go to the beach. We still...
You're still fun.
Yeah, we do a lot. Actually, we're having a lot of fun.
And you can remember how much fun you had the next day. That's the beauty of it.
Well, or you're old like me, and if you forget it, who cares? You just do it again and go, wow, that movie was really good. And Dana goes, we saw that movie? I was like, well, yeah, but it was better. Yeah. I remember it right now. But the cool thing is that you are enjoying it and you are embracing it and you present. Are remembering it and you're very present.
Yeah.
And you're very, very present.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot more meaningful at this point. And I'm not trying to diss those days that you had intoxicated. Okay, they were great. They were fun. All right. I'm not telling you to say that they were bad days, right. All of them. They couldn't have all been bad. I know mine weren't all bad. But there comes a time where evolution happens.
Yeah.
You just evolve. Like you say, you evolved into some hippie form. You evolve into your own internal hippie. And it's like, how am I taking care of this? I'm just not taking care of this.
Right.
I'm not doing what's right up here, you know? I mean, I love the way I think, and I love the way I am creative, and then you think, oh, yeah, but drugs make me more creative. No, they don't. They don't make... You are creative. The reason that drugs even worked for your creativity is because it got you out of the way. So how about you get you out of the way? Mm-hmm. Get out of your own damn way and let the clarity come up with that artistic expression that you have inside you. Because if you don't, then those little gremlins that you just put in your head are going to come up with their artistic expression, and that's you polluted. That's not even really fully you. Mm-hmm. That's you influenced by other ideologies instead of your own basic, clear principles.
Yeah. There's really nothing better than being clear.
No.
Clear-minded, really.
No, clarity is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I never went through recovery and all that, but, you know, I mean, I've lived through a lot of things, and, I mean, even dealing with the loss of a child, you know, a lot of people probably really turn to something to try and escape the feelings of what that feels like. Absolutely. To actually go through that. Yeah. Instead of going through it and feeling it and figuring out how to get to the other side and stay in a clear mind, you know, instead of masking all those feelings. Because eventually, whatever you're masking with drugs and alcohol, it's going to come up, you know, and it's probably going to surface when you're on drugs and alcohol, right? So the thing you're really trying to not feel, and then you're drinking and all of a sudden you're crying, all this stuff's going on because the thing you're trying to cover is now coming out.
Right.
But now it's like more of a mess because you don't have a clear mind to actually handle it. Right. So I know my brother and sister-in-law are therapists. I know, you know, just from talking with them, a lot of things stem from when we were kids. Yeah. And there's things that we don't even know we're holding on to, but yet here we are adults and we're still reacting because of something that happened when we were 5. Right. But we don't really know. So that feeling of something that happened when you were a kid, you want to cover that up with drugs or alcohol because you don't want to feel it, but you don't really know what it is. Right. So it's like a matter of, and when you get clean and clear, you know, maybe you can revisit those places and then let them go and burn them off into 2018.
Good comeback. Good circular motion there, Chris.
Full circle moment.
Full circle moment. There. And here, the reason for that is imagine if you've ever been around a little kid. Ask them to put something away. Just give them anything and just say, put this where it belongs. They're going to put it where they feel it belongs. or where they've learned it belongs. Now imagine that person 20 years later, 30 years later. Do you think they're going to put that in that same place? Are they going to put that item in that same place? Would you put it in that same place? Because where a kid may store something, you might look at it and go like, no, that's not where it goes. It goes over here, little sweetheart. You ever hear parents talk to kids? It goes over here, honey. They want to tell the kid where it really goes because it doesn't really go over here. Exactly. That's what you did with all of those first experiences. That's what you did with all those first feelings. You stored them where they made sense at the time. You stored all that influence where it went at the time, and it may have worked for you then at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you don't go back and revisit, and not just for those that have suffered trauma, if you don't go back and revisit where you initially stored feelings, emotions, blah, 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 and instead you just say, that's the way I am. I've always been that way. Ask my mother. I've been that way since I was a child.
Oh,
I've
heard that so much.
If you don't go back and revisit and reevaluate and reassess and change it, then how can you evolve? You cannot evolve. What you're saying is that wherever you initially put your feelings, emotions, and thoughts and how you structured them and how you dealt with them, you solidified them in concrete, and now you just made yourself that destiny. I am destined to behave exactly like a 5-year-old for the rest of my life, as if I've never learned a damn thing. So you're taking that book that guy wrote that says, everything I learned in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And you're taking that way too literal. And you're saying, I can never learn anything else. No, what that really means is you've learned the basics, and those basics are building blocks to whatever it is. But if you learn them wrong, for instance, if you learned 1 + 1 wrong, then forever, how can you progress in math? You cannot possibly progress in math if you didn't get 1 + 1 right.
Right.
But there's a lot of you that never got 1 + 1 right, and you're out there trying to do calculus.
Right.
You suck at calculus if you don't know 1 + 1 = 2.
And you don't know. You don't understand why you suck at calculus.
And you don't even know
because you don't remember that you learned 1 + 1.
No, instead you're trying to tell me that you're actually right. You're looking at me and going, "Well, they say that that's what the triangle means, but who's they? I can say the triangle is not delta or whatever the hell that is." See, I don't even know why I'm way above my pay grade now. Louis, stay out of math because I topped out at algebra.
So on this whole topic, let me tell you a story that I heard yesterday. So this week I told you I met these amazing people, and I also met the Sunshine Mafia, and I also met this guy. His name's Bob Cattell, and he's an international.
You meet a lot of people.
I know, and I was at home. That was what's so weird. I was like in Ocoee.
That's kind of weird.
In Ocoee, I'm meeting all these people at my house. I live on a dirt road on a lake.
Note to self: don't answer the door. Note to self: don't answer the door.
No, so Bob Cattell travels with Tony Robbins. He's an international speaker, has TED Talks. He's friends with the Sunshine Mafia group that I met. Oh my God. And he calls me the next day from Utah, and we're talking. So he tells me this story back to the childhood regression and releasing. So the story is, and it's in his TED Talk, is and it's exactly what we're talking about. So when he was a kid, there was like a bird. He got this bird, and he like threw it to the ground. Not like, he's a 5-year-old kid, and the bird died. Okay, so fast forward.
He did?
He did. Yeah. So Bob threw the bird and he died.
He needed Tony Robbins.
So fast forward. No, I don't think he meant to, but it happened.
He didn't.
And the thing is, he had no memory of it, right? He didn't remember it. So here he is, an adult, and he's like, every bird that's injured, he's saving them. And he's taking all these birds. He has like a bird sanctuary at his house. And his kids think he's crazy because he's got all these birds and he's trying to save them and all this stuff, like his whole adult life. Well, then he did this whole childhood regression where he tapped in to childhood and he remembered hurting that bird. And he said all of a sudden that memory that he didn't even know he had, right? And he had no idea why he just had this affinity to save birds. But when he remembered that moment, he started crying because he killed that bird. And it was that memory that was making him do what he's doing as an adult. And once he went back and remembered what happened and cried for it and let it go, he never tried to save another bird. He let go.
Well, wait, that's a sad part.
No,
Chris.
but there's
a lot of birds that need sanctuary, and now.
Well, they have places for birds that need help.
Yeah, they had his place at one time when he was still sick and injured. They had his place, but now they don't have him anymore. God, that's a sad story.
No, No, the story is you're taking away the point of the story is that
That's what I do.
he was holding he had this memory. He had no idea that he had done that at 5.
I got the
Right?
I got the point.
So as an adult, and then he also said the same with his OCD.
Right.
That once he tapped into the reason why from when he was a kid that he had to have everything a certain way, right? Once he tapped into why he did that,
Now he's a mess.
He stopped being OCD.
Great, now he's
So
a mess.
now
He
there's
doesn't
the
show up to
birds.
appointments.
The
He
birds
comes
aren't
late.
being saved. His house is a mess.
God.
But he's happy.
You know, he opens the cupboard and he can't even see that it's pork and beans because it's turned the wrong way. All right, so
But
we got
he's happy. He's a happy hippie.
But he's a happy hippie.
He's a happy hippie, and he travels speaking, and he's
That's awesome.
with Tony Robbins and TED Talks, and he's
Yeah. They just need to hire an assistant to make sure he gets there.
and all the
to keep his
birds are at
schedule
the
straight,
sanctuary.
and all the poor birds that are injured, they don't have anywhere to go.
So the moral of that story is to release what you're holding on to
Yeah.
from the past, so you can be present.
That's for sure. I like it. All right, so close up because we're out of time.
You close it up.
You got anything? You mean close it up? All
It's
right.
about time to go get a taco, I think.
It is. So, Chris Lowe, how can they reach you if they need to bring you in to speak to their school or their event?
Well, they can. My email is Chris.
Tell it right to these people right here.
Hello. My email is Chris at ourgreenfuture.org. It's our is in OUR. Our Green Future. That's our nonprofit, and or they can go to ourgreenfuture.org. That's the website.
Right.
Or just call me. I'll just give out my digits. No, I'm just kidding.
Because apparently everybody has it at your house.
Or just show up at my door and we'll be best friends.
And thanks
No,
to
I'm
you.
kidding. Don't do that either. Okay. But yeah, ourgreenfuture.org is our website. And I'll travel all over the country and go to any school that needs sunshine.
Aw, that's beautiful.
And this is my sweet little sunshine. Lainey, thank you for coming
Lainey.
over here with me today.
Of course.
You know how you get a kid to come and do something like this?
You pay 'em.
promise her the beach
Yeah.
and the juice bar.
Well, there you go. As long as you go clean up the beach, that's fine. Because now you're gonna have to go to work over there. Because that's what's expected of you. But anyway, listen, whatever you got to do, just do it. The whole key about this is just keep it moving. Just brush it off, shake it off like you would tell, a little kid that you want to stop crying because they injured themselves. At least, if you're a parent that wants to teach them that the whole world's not going to change for them, that you have to adapt to it, you're going to tell them to brush it off. You got this. You're good. Yeah, it hurts. But, there's a lot of things that hurt. There's a lot of things that are difficult. There are a lot of things that are painful. But you know what? You can't brush this off. As long as you talk about it and feel it, I'm not telling you not to feel it, but at the end of the day, grab somebody's hand and keep it moving and go forward because stagnation is no bueno. So after all this, sorry Trinity wasn't here today. Dharma Guy will be back next week. He had to go do something today, so he wasn't with us, but Chris Lowe is with us, and hopefully Chris Lowe stays with us. We're going to keep her coming back until we get sick of her. So adios, amigos. It's time for a taco. Goodbye.
And that was without even a single drop of rum.
That was awesome.